On January 5, 1942, while celebrations echoed through the streets of Tokyo, Admiral Isoroku Yamamoto was already looking beyond Japan's early victories. From his perspective, the war in the Pacific was only entering a dangerous new phase. That day, he ordered the staff of the Imperial Combined Fleet to begin planning the next stage of operations, insisting that all plans be ready by mid-February. Reports from the Philippines, Malaya, and the Southern Pacific suggested that Japan would soon control vast areas of East and Southeast Asia. The speed of these conquests stunned military planners and created deep divisions within the Japanese high command. Many hardline nationalists demanded that Japan press forward relentlessly, no matter how far the war expanded. Yamamoto, however, feared what lay ahead. Unlike many of his contemporaries, Yamamoto never believed Japan could win a long war against the United States and Britain. His opposition to unlimited war was well known, so well known that friends worried he might be assassinated if he remained in Tokyo. For that reason, he often stayed at sea aboard the battleship Yamato. His chief of staff noted in his diary that Japan now needed far-sighted statesmanship, not blind confidence born from early success. Yamamoto warned repeatedly that Japan's early victories would not last. He believed the key moment would come with the fall of Singapore. Such a defeat, he argued, would shake British power in Asia and open the door to negotiations. Having served in London during naval arms conferences and later as naval attaché in Washington, Yamamoto understood both Britain and the United States. In his view, Japan would have no more than 18 months of advantage after a major victory. A peace settlement would have to be reached before American industrial power fully mobilized. By early 1942, Japan appeared unstoppable. The American battleship fleet had been crippled at Pearl Harbor. British capital ships had been sunk off Malaya, Hong Kong had fallen, and Japanese forces were advancing toward the Dutch East Indies and the Solomon Islands. Yet one critical objective had been missed. The U.S. aircraft carriers had escaped destruction and remained a constant threat. Yamamoto knew that symbolic victories alone would not force the United States to negotiate. He pushed for a decisive blow that would destroy American carrier strength. When the Army rejected proposals to attack the Soviet Union or expand toward the Middle East, Yamamoto focused on a new plan, a carrier battle near Midway Island that would eliminate the heart of U.S. naval power. Then came the shock. In April 1942, American B-25 bombers led by Lieutenant Colonel Jimmy Doolittle struck Tokyo and other Japanese cities. Militarily, the raid caused limited damage. Psychologically, it was devastating. For the first time, the Japanese public and leadership realized that the homeland was vulnerable. The illusion of absolute security was gone. Even more troubling, it was clear that the Americans were not weakened. They were escalating. 2 months later, disaster followed at Midway. 4 Japanese fleet carriers were lost in a single battle. The scale of the defeat was hidden from the public and even from much of the army, but the balance of power had shifted. Still, Japanese headquarters pressed ahead with plans to expand southward, strengthening positions in New Guinea and the Solomon Islands. By the summer of 1942, Allied intelligence detected Japanese construction activity on Guadalcanal. An airfield there would threaten supply lines to Australia and give Japan a powerful forward base. Despite limited resources and serious logistical challenges, the United States decided to act. The Guadalcanal landings would be America's first major offensive of the Pacific War. In August 1942, U.S. Marines landed on Guadalcanal and nearby islands. The Japanese were caught completely by surprise. On Guadalcanal itself, resistance was light, as most of the defenders were construction troops who fled into the jungle. But on Tulagi, Gavutu, and Tanambogo, Japanese naval troops fought with extreme determination, resisting to the last man. These early battles revealed the brutal nature of the Pacific War. Japanese soldiers rarely surrendered, launching night attacks and suicidal counter-assaults, even when defeat was certain. American forces, facing a fanatical and experienced enemy, paid a heavy price, but ultimately secured their objectives. Guadalcanal marked the end of Japan's period of uninterrupted expansion. The Doolittle Raid, followed by Midway, and the first American landings, shattered the belief that the United States could be intimidated or forced into compromise. Japan now faced a grim reality. The war it had hoped to win quickly was becoming a long and exhausting struggle. America was not finished. It was only beginning to fight,